Hello, welcome back. I'm a little bit sick today, so just ignore that. Today, we're going to be looking into r/slash relationship advice subreddit. It's a place where people post their relationship dilemmas and ask for strangers on the internet to give their advice. So let's get into it. My first story is I, 24 female, feel like girlfriend 26 female is incompetent and I'm starting to resent her. My girlfriend was raised pretty sheltered. She didn't have friends all throughout her schooling, middle school, high school, or even college, and her parents didn't really teach her any life skills. Because of this, she's constantly asking questions or asking me to help on basic tasks because she can't figure it out herself. And or she doesn't take the couple minutes to critically think and problem solve. Now I'm not expecting my girlfriend to know everything and I don't know either. I have no problem showing her something new or helping every now and then, but it happens constantly and I'm starting to view her as incompetent. A couple examples. She came over my place and wanted to use my espresso maker, and she couldn't find the portafilter thing that holds the grounded beans to put in the machine. It wasn't by the machine where it normally is. I asked her if she checked the sink, as if it's not by the machine it was probably used. It was in the sink, and she didn't think to check there. She wanted to use my skincare, all my products she laid out on the table that visibly says that each product is what each product is and what it contains. She looked at one bottle, gave up, and asked which one was the niacinamide ingredient in it. I told her to just read the bottle as I didn't remember off the top of my head, and she said it's fine, I just won't use it. I gave her a makeup wipe remover, those little ones that hotels sometimes give you in your room that says makeup remover wipe in bold text, and I gave her a second one. She didn't need the second one, so I put it away. She then wanted the second one, so I let her know it was in my drawer. She dug around for a minute, pulled out a nose pore strip that was a different size, different wrapping, and had the text nose pore strip, and she didn't realize it until she opened it. She didn't see that it was something completely different than what I gave her, what she used. She didn't take the 5 seconds to read the text to confirm it was what she needed. Here's the thing, all these situations are so minor that individually they aren't a problem, but they happen so often where instead she takes the 1 minute to think, she will just give up and ask for help. And it's starting to build up and really annoy me. This makes me view her as incompetent because that's all I see. Because what if I'm not there? Will she just never complete a task? Obviously not. I know she's figuring stuff out by herself, but why is it when she's with me, she just gives up and asks me for help? Why can't she just take the couple minutes and figure things out for herself like she would when she's by herself? This really bothers me, and I ask her to do something for me so it takes the mental load off of me and I don't have to worry about it. But then she'll come back asking a million questions, which doesn't help me at all. I feel like she's using weaponizing competence so she can avoid doing any thinking herself, and I have to do it. Except it's not intentional, so maybe she's just competent. I don't know what to do. I often find myself getting frustrated easily at her and starting to build resentment. I spoke to her about this before and she said she will work on it, but I haven't seen anything change. I totally understand where OP is coming from because I'm the same type of person. I don't like when people ask me for things when clearly, if you take 1 minute to think, you're gonna find the solution. I don't like when people just don't bother. And I have a couple of people in my life that are like this, and I just can't anymore. I started to kind of pull away from this. I've heard word for word that it takes me quicker to do something because I already know how to do it or I already know where things are and they just don't want to spend that time and waste their time because it's going to take them longer to do it. I don't know if it's the case with the OP's girlfriend, but in my case, the only thing that helped is to pull away and to say no to a lot of favors or a lot of questions. You know what? I'm a little bit toxic because in this, I'm just so sensitive to these things now. I don't know why, but all the stories that I've read so far about relationships, I just want to say, like, break up. Break up. If you don't like each other, break up. Why are you with that person? Don't fall for the sunk cost fallacy. It doesn't matter how long you've been together. It doesn't matter what you've been through. If you don't like the person, just leave. Our next story is titled, After 4.5 years, I feel like my significant other and I don't have much in common anymore and may be growing apart. What to do? 27 female and 27 male. My boyfriend and I, both 27, have been together since we were 22 and lived together. Things were truly chemical when we first got together. We fell in love very fast, and really, I feel like I was dating my best friend because we had such strongly overlapping interests. For the first few years together, we did most things together. We both were very into rock climbing and running and casually played volleyball on the side. We also both liked going to concerts, camping, and making art, and would do both of those things together a lot. As time gone on, he's gotten more and more into this specific club sport of which he's a team captain. He loves it and often it occupied with it most of the weekends and a couple weeknights per week. He has dropped climbing, art, and volleyball pretty much altogether. He doesn't really like going to concerts much anymore, and his music taste has started del- diverging more from mine, such that he rarely wants to go to concerts with me now. Also takes a lot of convincing to go camping, and he's busy with his club team most weekends anyways. I also am a lot more social than him generally, and I like to get out with people a lot more. I feel like we don't spend that much time together these days and don't have so much to talk about anymore because our interests are so different. I still love him, but I no longer feel like we're close in the way we once were. I still love him, but I am a bit worried that we are growing apart. I'm not sure if this is normal in a relationship given how long we've been together. What to do? Interesting, interesting, interesting. I feel like before you were doing things out of, interest on a specific day. So you had a lot. You had concerts, camping, making art, climbing, or something like that. And now he has a club sport that he's into that he really loves. So maybe he's used to into a routine of not planning the specific activity and just doing it whenever. So my advice is to talk to him and see if you can schedule a date once a week. The only thing that is a little bit concerning to me is that he prioritizes that hobby, like a sport, more than your guys' relationship, and maybe he just got lost in the sauce. Let's see some comments. I'm actually really curious what people say on this one because it could go different ways. First comment says, it depends what you mean by normal. Do lots of people make the mistake of staying with someone they've grown apart from just because of their history together? Yes, that is common, which could be called normal. If by normal you mean how things should be, then no, you should not stay with somebody you have grown apart from. I would disagree. In this scenario, I feel like the OP feels like they've grown apart. I don't think the boyfriend thinks so. He hasn't voiced any concerns to her. He's just probably enjoying the sport. There's a lot of people that would start worrying about them and their partner growing apart because of the shift of the dynamics. I'm the same way. If the dynamics shift a little bit, I start worrying a bit about the closeness in a relationship. And it took me some time to not start externalizing that and instead work through it and find solutions to work it out and kind of regain the sense of normalcy in a healthy way. If I was going through the same thing, I would come up and be like, "Hey, I know you love this sport. I know you're into it right now, but I feel a little bit neglected in this situation. I feel like we're growing apart. It might not be the case. It might be irrational thoughts, but I just wanted to voice that, what I feel." In my head, I would say, would you be okay with setting up a day in a week where it's just the two of us, where we can do something that would be interesting to both of us? Go climbing or make some art, some things that we've done before in this scenario, and then go from there. It's completely normal to feel this way, especially after being together for several years and growing into different versions of yourselves. It sounds like you still care deeply about him, but you're missing the connection you once had, and that matters. It's okay to outgrow shared routines, but when it starts to feel like you're living more side by side than together, that's worth talking about. I would bring it up gently from a place of love and let him know you miss the bond you used to share and want to find new ways to connect again. Relationships evolve, but they still need nurturing from both people to stay close. I totally agree with that. And to bring it up with love, you just find some sort of compromise. Our next story is titled Boyfriend 24 Male Keeps Wearing Bracelet from Female Coworker Despite My 23 Female Discomfort. How to Navigate Gut Feelings versus Insecurity in a Long Term Relationship. My boyfriend, 24 male, and I, 23 female, have been together for 5 years. We recently had to move back in with our parents separately after living together for a while because rent on our apartment became too expensive. Since then, I've been feeling a growing emotional distance, which might be affecting how I'm processing certain things in our relationship. One situation in particular has been bothering me. A female coworker of his gave him a friendship bracelet. On its own, that wouldn't necessarily be a problem, but when I expressed that it made me uncomfortable, he continued to wear it. What stings more is that over the years, I've gifted him jewelry myself, bracelets, necklaces, etc., and he never wears any of it, but this one, he keeps it on. To add to that, the one time I met this group of coworkers, it was a random encounter. He didn't introduce me to anyone until I asked him to, which left a bad taste in my mouth. During that meeting, the same female coworker who gave him the bracelet was noticeably awkward and distant towards me. I couldn't help but pick up on it. Whenever I've made comments about this coworker, he brushes it off with reassurances that there's nothing going on. Yet I keep finding myself questioning whether this situation is triggering valid concerns about respect and emotional boundaries, or if it's more about the needing reassurance because of the changes in our relationship dynamic. I'm reaching out for advice on two things. One, how can I approach a sensitive conversation about emotional boundaries without sounding accusatory or insecure? For those who have been in similar situations, how have you differentiated between gut instinct and personal insecurity in long-term relationship? I'd really appreciate honest insights, especially from people who face similar conflicts between intuition and relationship anxiety. If you have a gut feeling and you try to brush it off because you think, oh, I'm a little too toxic, or I'm too toxic to think like that, or he wouldn't do that to me, I'm just overreacting. You probably not. It's a slight difference because the anxiety and the gut instinct, the gut feeling, is very similar in reaction. But in a feeling, I feel like the gut instinct is telling you, like, girl, you need to get out. The relationship anxiety tells you this is going to be over soon. So I need to do something about it. So I feel like it's two different things. I don't know if it makes sense. For the first thing, how can I approach the sensitive conversation about emotional boundaries without sounding accusatory or insecure? I feel like you already did. You said that it made you uncomfortable and he continues to wear it. So in a relationship, you can voice your concerns, but you can't force the other person to change some things. You can voice it, you can be the healthiest person you can be. But if the other person is not, you're not going to go far. I hate to be the person. I hate to be the person that always going to advise people to break up, but break up. You don't even live together anymore. You live with your parents. It's 5 years. Stop thinking about the sunk cost fallacy. 5 years, you're 23. You're so young. Why are you holding on to this man? If he wants to wear a friendship bracelet and he doesn't see, it's not even about a friendship bracelet. It's about you telling him that you're uncomfortable with something and he just brushes you off. He continues to wear the friendship bracelet. It's not even about the damn friendship bracelet anymore. It's about the principle. Stop wearing the goddamn friendship bracelet from your coworker, from your female coworker, because it makes me uncomfortable. And the only appropriate answer in this situation from him is yes, love, I will stop wearing that bracelet. Done. And I said it once and I'll say it again. Once you leave that relationship that you're not happy about, you're going to meet the most amazing person you've ever met. So just break up. I hate to be the person to give people advice to break up, but I wish somebody told me back then. And I'm telling you now, break up. Our last story for today is titled I, 19 female, love my boyfriend, 20 male, but I'm starting to realize I've never really had time to grow into my own person. The story goes my boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. Our relationship is healthy, we don't fight, we're really comfortable with each other, and I genuinely love him. He has a lot of friends and social life, but I've always kind of just had him. Recently, I went out to a bar with a friend for the first time, and it honestly opened my eyes. I had so much fun talking to people, being in a new environment, and just doing something for me. It made me realize how much I've been missing out on experiencing life independently. Being with someone so consistently from a young age is amazing in many ways, but now I'm starting to feel like I never really had the chance to grow out or figure out who I am outside of our relationship. I don't necessarily want to end things, but I can't ignore this feeling either. I feel like I either have a choice to stay committed and never know how my life would have been if I got to experience a life of meeting new people, or possibly miss out on a perfect and fulfilling relationship just because I wanted to experience other people. Okay, you have to title it differently because you said, the OP said, I've never really had time to grow into my own person. No, what you're saying in your story is that you've never had time to mess around with other people. Girl, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't, like, I'm like mad. I'm mad at this. You've been together for 3 years. You're young. If you feel like you want to mess around with other people, do your boyfriend a favor and break up with him because he's with the person that questions the relationship. If you truly loved your boyfriend, truly loved him, you wouldn't even had a single thought about other people. So do your boyfriend a favor and break up with him and do your own thing. Grow into your own person, how you said. And in my opinion, you just want to shag other people. I gotta be nicer. God, I'm mean. I'm mean today. This post is pretty new, so we only have one comment. So let's see what the comment says. I really feel this. I was in a long term relationship when I was younger, and it's so hard to explain that pull between comfort and curiosity. Wanting to grow on your own doesn't mean you love him any less, it just means you're starting to recognize that you deserve a full sense of self too. You don't have to make a decision overnight, but it's okay to explore that independence looks like without guilt. The right relationship should make space for you to grow, not keep you from it. Yeah, she said she wants to live independently, but in her last sentence, in OP's last sentence, she said, I feel like I either have a choice to stay committed and never know how my life would have been if I got to experience a life of meeting new people, or possibly miss out on a perfect and fulfilling relationship just because I wanted to experience other people. She's choosing between a committed relationship and shag other people. She didn't have enough time to be wild, to go out, to have different experiences. If that's what you want, great. But don't drag your boyfriend into it. And if you have thoughts like that, just break up. Just break up. Grow. Grow independently. That's all I have for you for today. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.